Hi everyone, last video I've done this page in this paper bag journal, and you asked to see how to make it. It's really simple. I'm going to show you how to do it like I've done it. There are lots of ways, lots of videos out there. This is just how I prefer to make it, and I will also give you options to make something similar if you don't have paper bags. So I'm moving this aside, and basically this whole thing started by me having lots of paper bags by ordering. With the lockdown, we ordered online and everything came from the grocery store in these bags. So I had lots of them, and I really love brown paper to work with, so I decided to make a journal out of it. And it really doesn't matter which kind you have, what size, use whatever you have. If you don't have any kind of paper bags, you can use any packing paper. Like this one is packing paper from IKEA. You can use maps, and I will show you how it looks because I've done some examples. You can use newspaper. Everyone has newspaper, and you can use book pages. So I will show you just an example. This one was done with book pages because I have lots of them, and this one also book pages, but this one is stitched, this one is made back to back, and I will show you the both ways so you can choose what is good for you. And this one is on maps, from the same maps I've showed you. This one I've stitched, and it's made from maps. So lots of options here. Moving this aside, let's start with this. So I have this paper bag, and what I'm doing is just taking it apart, and it's going to make some noise. Yes, I'm not trying to be too careful. It's just paper bag, and that's it. It's either you use it or it's going to the recycle and coming back as an egg carton, so really doesn't matter. So I'm just trying to open it, and in one place there is always, here it's glued again. I can start tearing it, or I can just take scissors and open it completely, and here we go. And then I am getting out the handles. Sometimes I can remove it easily, sometimes not. Again, I really don't care. What's the worst that could happen? It will go to the recycling bin. And I have really lots of it. And now I'm not measuring anything. I just go with what I have. What the size I have will be the factor that will, by that I will decide about the size. Like if I have a lot of tierage here, then I already know that I can't use all this, so I will not use it. And now I like to take advantage of the whole piece of paper. So what I do mostly, because I don't try to measure, I'm just folding it, something like that. and folding it again. Like so. And now I know I have 4 pieces in the same size that I can just separate now. Now when I've done the journal, you saw I didn't use scissors. I wanted the edges to be ragged or frayed or whatever. I don't know what to call it. So the only thing I used is a ruler, and I've put it like this to get the edges to not be straight and crisp. This is you do it however you like it. It can be with scissors, it can be like by tearing it apart, whatever you like. So I already have like 4 pages, and as I said, I don't want to use this. So again, I'll just cut it like that. I've got 4 pieces, and if I fold them, I will have my journal. Okay, now I can make more. I can do only this. And now another thing before I attach it, and there are 2 ways to go about it. As I said, if you don't like all these creases and you want it a little bit more smooth, the way to go about it, and that's what I'm doing, because then it will make your paper a little bit more flexible later. So I'm putting down a towel and taking a spray bottle with water, and I'm spraying a little bit, spreading it, and flipping it over, spraying, spreading, putting the next page, spraying, spreading it, very reverting. Like so. And again, and as I said, you can do as many pages as you want. I'm just showing this from one. And you can also fold it, and you can put something heavy on it and let it dry completely overnight. I don't do it. I just take my heat tool and help it dry. I already have here some, and here it is. Now when I've got this, after it's all dry, now I can decide how I want it. If I wanted to leave it like this with all kinds of ragged edges, if I want to cut it and be very symmetrical, I can do whatever I want. I can take it and make a journal that looks like this. You can do whatever you want. You see? And if you like things that are straight, then you just cut it to be straight. And what I would do to make it completely straight is put some clip just so my pages won't move, and a ruler, utility knife, now when you want to cut this, it's better to move from the spine here and not the other way, because then it will drag your pages. And you start cutting it like so, and now everything is cut the same size. Doing this side again, flipping it over because I want to cut from the spine towards the outside. Here we go. And as I said, you can now do whatever you want, whatever size you like. And I think I will just cut it here. Here we go. So that's the start. Now, if I will show you how I've been stitching this stuff, and another technique. If you don't want to start stitching pages, then the other technique is to take the pages out like this and start attaching them back to back. Back to back means that you are doing this like this, taking any kind of glue you want, but for something like this it's enough to use a glue stick. Put some glue, align the next page like this, put some glue, align the next page, and so on. I will show you with the book pages because I want to use this to make a stitch. Here we go. I'm just folding them. Now the quality of paper is varied. What I have as from the grocery store, not supposed to be, will not be the same as other places. So you just have to see if it's strong enough, if it's working for you, and then use it. If it's not strong enough, if you feel it's too thin, then you still can work with it, like using a newspaper. Newspaper, at least here, newspaper is already made on recycled paper, so it's very thin and it's very flimsy. But what I've done is take 2 pages of a newspaper and glue them together with a white glue, and then they are more thick and durable, and you can still make an art journal out of it. And of course I've well, in this example I've already gessoed at least one side of my page, so again it's more now it's even more workable as an art journal. So if I have these pages and I want to attach them back to back, I'm putting down glue, aligning the next one, putting down glue. I'm not really concerned now of getting to all the corners or anything, just showing you how to attach it without making a stitched signature. And that's how you get your journal without stitching. And in this case, most of the time when I'm doing something like that, in back-to-back technique, I will leave the cover when I'm finished. Why? Because if I want to add more pages as I go, I can. Like I have this journal that is made from black Bristol paper A3, and I have got lots of them, and each time I'm just folding another one and adding it here to the back until I think it's thick enough, and then I will do the cover for this. And most of the time I will do covers at the end of each when I'm finished with an art journal, because then it doesn't get ruined with any kind of paint and glue and whatever. So that's the technique of back to back. And let's go back to this. And as you can see, I have a tear here. I don't care. You will see in a minute why I really don't care about it. And here are all the pages. And now for the stitching, let's see, where did I put? Okay, so when I do a stitch signature, I'm using this kind of thread. This is a waxed thread. It works great for me. It's from the cheap store. You can use jute, you can use any kind of twine, you can use baker's twine. Just don't use very thin threads. Like, don't use this kind. It's too thin. It's strong, but it's too thin. So what will happen? It will start making pressure on your paper, and it will tear it. So you need something that is thicker. And the way I go about stitching, and again, I'm not measuring anything. What I do when I have my pages, I'm putting 2 clips, so again it won't move, like so. This I will just put a masking tape, and I will show you even here. I think I have a page. Let's see. Here I have a page. I just put masking tape, and there will be gesso, there will be all kinds of stuff, so who cares? And as you can see, no one can see it here. Again, this is just freedom to do whatever you want. You can just smear paint, so who cares? The whole purpose is to do it quickly, simply, and to not care about all this stuff. So I've got my center line because I folded it, and the only thing I do is take the thread. Where did I put the needle? Here it is. Again, this is my way of going about it. There are lots of videos out there with all kinds of incredible techniques for binding and stitching and whatever. Okay, so I've got my thread. Here we go. So now if I've got a lot of pages, then I will use this tool that I don't, owl or whatever, pokey tool. That's what I call it. And this is from a kids game. It's just condensed foam, and I'm putting it underneath. You can take an eraser if it's more accessible to you, and I just poke a hole and making sure it goes all down. And again, as I said, I'm not measuring anything, don't care. So now I've got these 2 holes, and here is how I go about it. I'm taking the thread, going like this. Now I haven't talked about a cover. You can, when you're stitching, it's best to attach a cover with the stitching, but you don't have to. You can make the cover later. And what I've used again here for the cover is just plain cardboard from a cereal box, whatever you have. If you have also like cardboard. I've made all kinds of art journals with the cardboard that was inside shirts that I've bought. You know, especially the men's shirts are being folded and inside there is some board in. That's what I've used. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you have. Another thing that you can use is, let's see if I have it here. I want to show you. Here we go. Like, I had this watercolor pad. When I'm finished with it, I'm always keeping it because I will use this gray board for all kinds of stuff, and I will also use this, which is great as a cover. Now this is smaller than what I have here, but it will be a great cover. Let's find another something else that I can put here that will be in size. I really don't care what's on. Let's see, some painty paper I have. Let's see. Yeah, good enough. I'm moving it just so I can put it in place. Again, this is quite free project, eyeballing everything. Here we go. So I'm going in here, and I like to leave a part of it sticking out here. I will show you in a minute why. So I'm going now. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. Making sure, okay, that it's stretched. Going in again. Just going like 2 or 3 times so it will be a nice and in place. And of course now something happened. My needle went into the thread. Okay, never mind, I can continue. Once again, this is the second time I'm going in. And one more. I advise you not to do too many pages. It will make your life just it will be more trouble than it's worth. And again, you are just putting pressure on yourself to fill everything. Do something that you feel you can finish. And I'm just putting down a little bit of masking tape here. And now, so I've got my 2 leftovers here. What I'm doing is making a knot here, very simple one. And I like leaving it because when I'm finished with the art journal, what I do is just put beads on it. I'm not doing it now because when I'm still working on an art journal, it just gets in the way. But when I'm finished, I can put some beads here and just make a knot at the end, and this is it. So here it is. And when I'm doing this kind of journals, I'm always putting even in the middle I will put a masking tape, because I just like that the thread is covered, and the other pages I will do it so if I'm using paint, the paint won't seep to other pages. So if I'm working here, I will also put masking tape so the paint won't seep underneath. You can even use this kind of journal to just do all kinds of collages. It's great for it. And you can gesso the whole pages. You can work without gesso. It really doesn't matter. It depends what you're going for. Just like that. And that's how I make my journals, at least this kind with paper bags. And when I'll get to the end of it, I will decorate the outside, do something with it, and this is it. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Here, what I've done here is I've gessoed the cereal box, and then I stamped lots of, I had stamp leaves, and then I covered the whole thing with, I have the backing of paper napkins that I've sprayed and just scrunched it and glued it down. So this is it, and as you can see, this is the leftover. When I'm finished with this art journal, I will put some beads here. So that's it. I hope I covered everything. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.